There we go. Think these are better? The microphone is muted and has no signal. The problem is I don't even know if y'all can hear me. Actually, let me check something. This is for the YouTube fam only to go through all this with me. I'll be able to check because we did just go live, so hopefully it uploaded and will actually show me what the heck is going on with all this. Yeah, let's see if we can even hear me. Yeah, let's see if we can even hear me. Okay, you can. That sounds awful. Yeah, let's see if we can even hear me. Okay, you can. That sounds awful. That's hilarious. I'll have to fix that. But man, I cannot explain to y'all the rigmarole I've been having to go through trying to get that. I've been spending the last like 45 minutes trying to get y'all live with me. And I went through and did this whole shebang trying to get this going. But we'll figure it out. I want to know why my audio sounds like awfulness. Why does my audio sound awfulness? I wonder if that sounds better. Does that sound better? Let's check. I'm gonna use the YouTube fam to help me get stuff straight. If you guys, I guess if you guys want some of the behind the scenes, you can go to the YouTube. Let's see. Let me see what it sounds like now, because it usually does not sound as bad. Let me see what it sounds like now, because it. Yeah, it sounds so much better. I knew that something was off. I knew that something was completely off. Okay, let's get ready to actually go live. As long as you guys can hear me, I'll give you guys the updates on like what the heck is going on, because oh my god. So let me go live here, see if this works, and then see if this works. I think we should be good. All right. Think we're live on all platforms. Oh my freaking Lord, y'all. Getting this all set up was a headache, man. This is why we didn't do live streams last week. If you guys don't know, I just got done doing my 5-day challenge. That's basically where I double my clientele. I typically train roughly about 25 to 30 people. That went to about 45 to 50 people for about a week. So it was crazy. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't trying to do everything all at once. I wanted to put my attention on that. And then we would come back and get this whole live stream thing all set up. But we're back with the live streams. We're going to try and stay very consistent with these. The platforms where I know I'm going to be going live is definitely always on YouTube. That way if you guys miss a live stream, it'll always be on YouTube. So you guys can always check out if you miss some of the live streams, go check on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of information there. I'll start making playlists and making things a little bit more accessible to you guys. But just understand that is the game plan. As of right now, we are not going to be streaming on TikTok, even though that is like a huge platform for me. I mean, I was actually thinking of doing something like on the way to the gym or something with those guys, with the TikTok fan base, which is the biggest. It's the biggest fan base I have. It has over 6,500 people in there. So we'll figure something out. But for right now, I wanted to make sure that we were going live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are going to be the main 3 platforms, okay? That's just mainly to make things easier for you guys. And then that way we're going live on the main platforms that matter. And then, of course, like I said, Facebook as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. But we're going to try and keep this schedule pretty consistent. We're going to be trying to go for Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're typically going to be somewhere in between 7 to 8 a.m. And then on Saturdays, it's typically going to be around 9 a.m. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps you guys. I say 9 a.m. We might play around with that time on Saturday. I'll let you guys know. But until then, let's get into this freaking live stream, guys, because I got this thing all prepped up, and then I spent the last 45 minutes trying to freaking go live. It was crazy. And I thought I was going to have issues going live on Instagram. The issue was actually Facebook. For whatever reason, Facebook, y'all were giving me problems this morning, but we got it all figured out. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about habits and habitual nature, okay? This stuff is very, very freaking important because it's the definite reason why most people don't stick with their results, right? Or don't stick to the fitness game, or can't stick to a diet, or can't stick to anything fitness related. It all comes down to your habits. And the reason this is so important, guys, is because we're going to actually do a whole section of live streams this week. They're going to be kind of centered around the same thing. But this is all going to be centered around your subconscious, guys. And what you guys may not understand about habits is habits literally equate to your subconscious automation, right? So what you do without you thinking about it. I always talk to my clients about this all the time in this manner. If you were to go like for example, you woke up this morning and you probably did one thing for sure. You probably brushed your teeth. Why? Because you do it every day. It's habit. It's already formed. You've already formed the habit of doing it. Okay, so in fact, if you skip brushing your teeth, you're probably not going to feel great all day. You're going to think about it all day long because you've done it so habitually. You guys get what I'm saying here? And we got to tie this to the subconscious because that's what the subconscious is. So the subconscious is mainly the habits you formed over your years of life. And a lot of these are bad habits. Some of these are good habits, right, that we can keep. But we need to get rid of the bad and replace that with more good. And I brought up a few studies here, guys. This is not just like going all over the place. Let me see if I can actually pull these up. I had it set to where I could pull these up. There we go. So if you're watching me on Instagram, Facebook, unfortunately, you don't have access to this. This is what I was trying to get set up that was actually very freaking frustrating. But that being said, I wanted to bring this down and let you guys see that these are some big studies that have already been done over years taking place. But here's just one study, how habits are formed, modeling habit formation in the real world, 2009 study, 1999 study. I wanted to bring up, this one's pretty big, but the unbearable I hate this word, automaticity of being. I feel like they just made up that word for this study. But basically, guys, the big thing I need you guys to understand is that your habits are going to form the automation for your day-to-day life, which is very, very necessarily if you want to live as a fit person, right? We also got another one over here. Habit and intention in everyday life, the multiple processes by which past behavior predicts future behavior. Like, again, guys, I could go on all day. There's study after study after study on this stuff, right? But I need you guys to understand here that this is not just woohoo stuff, okay? This is stuff that actually works in the real world. And the reason I say that is because we're going to be talking a lot about the subconscious mind and, again, habits. We're going to be talking a lot about psychology because that's basically what this is, right? But you got to understand this is all backed research stuff, and it's the reason I get my clients freaking results. The people who are in my Savage Standard system get freaking results because we have automated their fitness journey. That is the reason it's called a system and not a program. I do not sell programs, I sell a system. And the system is about automating your fitness journey. Okay? We all got that clear? Because the reason that's super important, guys, is a lot of you guys think you're just going to be able to tough your way through this. Some of you might be able to do that. But the reality is, in order for you to maybe get there, you have to be consistent for 2 to 3 months. Otherwise, you quite literally are not creating habits. In fact, that's what one of these studies actually bring up. One of the studies we actually bring up, which one was it? It was the 2009 study, a European Journal of Social Psychology, that habit formation takes on average 66 days before becoming automatic. Okay? I know a lot of you think, oh, I just got to stick to this for 2 weeks and then it'll be habit. That is not the reality. That is not what the research shows. Habits do not take 2 weeks to form. They take 2 months. Okay? So, like, listen, dude, just because you stuck to the freaking keto diet for 2 weeks does not mean it's going to fucking stick for a lifetime. All right? We got to make sure you guys understand this stuff because there's a lot of people out there that don't comprehend this and they don't understand why they're struggling and why they can't seem to stick to it because you haven't stuck to anything for more than a month. That's why. This is going to take sincere effort on a daily basis for at least 2 to 3 months for it to start becoming automatic. And that doesn't mean you just stop. That just means that's the point in which it's easier to stick to, right? If you were to stop sticking to that stuff, just like this is exactly how you break bad habits. If you were to stop doing these things, right? They simply will fall off. You don't use it, you lose it. And so we got to make sure that you guys are using this stuff all the time. It's just that once you get about 2 months in, things start becoming habitual. They start becoming automatic and you don't have to think about it anymore. It's ingrained into your subconscious. Guys, this is the exact reasons why affirmations work so freaking well for people. right? There's a reason that, and guys, I was this way for a long time. I thought affirmations were just like woo woo stuff that is like stuff that people do to make themselves feel good, but it doesn't actually make them feel good. No, that's not what the research shows. There is research on this. There's a lot of research on this, okay? It's very evident the reason affirmations actually help people is because you habitually say them every day. They don't work if you do it once in a blue moon. Okay? That's not habitual. That's just you doing it whenever the heck you feel like it. We got to make sure, guys, that like when we say habitual, and guys, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is why it's so important. When we say habitual, that means every fucking day. Okay? That does not mean a couple days throughout the week. It doesn't mean when you feel like it. It means you do it every fucking day. That's how you create the habit. Otherwise, you're not going to create a habit. You're just doing things when you feel like it, right? And even then, guys, like I said, that's going to take a certain amount of like discipline to make sure that we aren't getting stuck into this same kind of mindset, because that mindset is going to literally hold you back. And we got to make sure that we are not getting held back by that mindset, because otherwise you're going to create bad habits, right? Every time it's time to go to the gym, you skip. That's a bad habit. Every time you wake up in the middle of the night and you go get a late night snack, that's a bad habit. Have you guys ever noticed that like once you start doing that, maybe you've been good for a little bit and then you start eating, like going outside your diet, eating a little bit over calories, like under eating protein, eating in the middle of the night when you're not supposed to, under drinking water. You ever notice that once that starts happening, it starts to kind of happen all the time? You're creating a bad habit. That's how bad habits are formed. Okay? And that also means it's going to be really hard to break. So we got to make sure we're not getting that confused. We got Meredith in the chat here, says, same as quitting smoking, you have to work on it for a while. That's exactly right. It is not going to be a 2-week ordeal. It is going to be months at a time before it even feels normal again. Okay? You guys have got to understand this aspect, because a lot of you guys are going into this thinking, oh, I'm just going to have to try this for 2 weeks and then it'll be normal. No, it's going to take some time, guys. Guys, you got to understand, listen, it took you years to get into the unhealthy body that you might have right now that you're wanting to get out of. Okay? It's going to take years to get out of that. You have to be willing to commit to something like that, or it just simply won't happen. It just won't. Guys, this is not a matter of me wishing or praying for you to do better, even though I do, right? But at the same time, you got to take action, or else this is not going to happen, period. Doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how much I yell on the mic. It doesn't matter how motivated I can make you on this live stream. If you don't take action, it's not going to happen. This is not my life. It's yours. Okay? We got to make sure we are taking the actions necessary. And this is why it's so important to make sure that you track your calories every day. This is why it's so important to make sure that you do something for your fitness, workout-wise, physically-wise, every single damn day. Because if you don't, the downside to that is that you start unbuilding the habits you've been forming, and you make it to where it's no longer automatic. Guys, listen, we can make it to where you have the same emotions you have about not brushing your teeth to like if you weren't tracking your calories, you can make that same feeling come around. You can make it feel like, oh man, I need to be tracking my calories. I know I missed that today, right? You do the same thing if you miss brushing your teeth. That is a possibility. We can make your mind shift that much towards fitness to where tracking your calories literally is nothing because you're on your phone anyways, right? We can make it to a point it becomes so habitual that it feels wrong to not do it. So that you keep doing it more and more and more. That is a possibility, but you have to do it every day. The more days you take off, the more you're telling your mind and your subconscious it's okay to do this. And it's not. It's what's landing you in an unhealthy life. Right? It's what's landing you in a life filled with not getting where you want to be. And fuck that shit. Who the hell wants that? You get one life. Why in the world would you ever want to live anything but the best? The best capacity you can possibly give it, right? So we got to make sure, guys, we have to start working on habits. If you are working on habits, that means you're doing it every day, not 5 days a week, not during the weekdays, every fucking day. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen for you. Okay? This is why with my clients, I make sure I message them throughout the week. This is why with my clients in my Savage people in my Savage Standard, we hold the line. I have them doing challenges in there. The kind of challenges that build some really good habitual nature. We do water challenges. We do high protein challenges. We do workout challenges. Stuff that they should be doing for their fitness anyways. But when you take the action of actually taking a picture of your high protein meal or taking a picture of your water bottle or wherever the case may be, you are going out of your way to take an extra action for your fitness, which is ingraining habitual nature. Which means you're going to be thinking about your fitness a lot more often without you having to do anything. Without you having to pull out your phone and scroll through TikTok and look for motivational videos. It'll already be there. It's automated. That's why the system works. Okay? This is why you guys see a ridiculous amount of my clients getting result after result after result. Okay? I've got literally binders full of fucking client transformations. Okay? There's a reason for that. It's because we automate their fat loss journey. We automate their fitness. We automate the way they build muscle and build strength simply by building habits. Okay? Now, I'll hold it off there because on the next live stream on Thursday morning around 7 to 8 a.m. CST, we're going to be talking about the subconscious more so you guys can understand just how powerful it is. And I'll give you guys a little bit of hint. Your conscious processor, that means the part of your mind that's able to process conscious thoughts, the part of you that thinks, right? That part of you can only process 40 thoughts per second, which sounds like a lot, right? Your subconscious can process 10 to 11 million thoughts per second, okay? We need to unlock that potential. And it's very possible, and you do that through habitual nature, okay? Habitual nature, affirmations, visualizations on a day-by-day basis make you a completely different person. That's what it takes. Okay, make sure you guys show up for that kind of live stream because we're going to go cover that information. I'll make sure to bring the sources with me this time too. Make sure we got some more sources so you guys know I'm not just saying this stuff. This is stuff that this is real, actual research that's already been done, right? So I want to get this information to you guys. But that'll be on Thursday. I will see you guys then. Peace out. Have a wonderful day.